it is Chef Leslie with Harmons. Thanks for joining me. Today we are going to be making biscuits and gravy, and I feel like I need to say that in this accent. I have no idea why. Maybe because it's Southern. I don't know. Anywho, check out my tips and tricks because I just chopped up a shallot and taught you the best way to do it, because right now I have it browning in a pan over medium-high heat, and I've got about 2 tablespoons of butter in here, and then I also have about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. I just like butter for flavor, and a little slick of oil in there. I've got some country-style sausage that I am going to brown up. It's about a pound and a quarter. So you just want to cut this in little tiny little pieces. Again, it's over medium-high heat. Now, for your purposes, you probably would want to make the biscuits first and then do the sausage and gravy second. The only reason is I've already got some biscuits made in advance, so that's why I'm doing this first. Okay, so let's let that brown for a second. I'm going to go ahead and season it with a little bit of salt. And some pepper. Don't use that stuff in the box, please. Just don't. It's a waste of energy, time and money. Okay, now I'm just going to get to the nitty-gritty and get these little pieces going. You want your shallot, maybe like, you just want it till it's soft. So I put the shallot in maybe like 1 to 2 minutes before I put in my pork. You wanted to get it nice. I mean, even if it starts to get a little brown and caramelized, that's adding flavor to your finished dish, so that's okay. And it was just diced. So most sausage gravies that I know have very, very small pieces of meat. So it just takes a little bit of time. Plus, this is really zen for me, people. I can, like, I don't know, take it out on COVID or something. I'm like, dang that pandemic. I don't know, whatever. People are laughing at me. Stop laughing at me, people. Okay, we're browning. All right, so what I have at the ready is we're going to make a roux, okay? So I've got fat in here already, and I will have some fat coming from my pork. And then I have a 1/4 cup of flour. And as soon as I get nice and browned, I'm going to add that to it. And then I've got some milk also. I've got some smoked paprika. I think that's going to add to my finished product. Oh, wow, that smells real good. Okay, guess what, people? Mama's going to flip. Oh, gosh, I really can't ever do that without my tongue coming out. That's real weird. Okay, breaking it down again. My biscuits are about 4 inches in diameter, and so I want to make sure that I don't overwhelm my biscuits with really huge chunks of pork. Okay, now notice, it's one thing to like stir and go away for a minute, all right? And then it's gonna brown and caramelize. If I just sit here and stir this for minutes on end, I'm kind of steaming the meat instead of letting it brown. So one key is learning how to put down the darn spatula and just letting it go, okay? I've got a tiny bit more pink right here. But then what I wanna do is I have my flour. Just going to put that on the top. And I kind of just want to coat all of that meat. And you also want to take some rawness out of the flour. And that's just like 1 or 2 minutes over medium-high heat should do the trick. And you're going to have a really dry pan, which is totally fine and normal. Don't freak. The other thing is that your milk is going to deglaze the pan anytime you add a liquid to a non-stick surface. And a nice medium-high to high heat, you're going to deglaze your pan. So maybe like a minute has passed. Now I can add in my milk. And it's about 2.5 cups, but for exact measurements, just go to harmonsgrocery.com and check out the biscuits and gravy recipe. Okay, so this is gonna thicken up while we are making our biscuits. You should see this come to a nice little simmer. I might turn it down a little bit in a minute, but okay. So all that's aside. Here we go, we're gonna make our biscuits. So I've got just some unbleached all-purpose flour, okay? And I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of baking powder and then a teaspoon of salt. And normally I would be using a fork, but I've got a spat here, so we're just gonna stir that up a little bit. Okay, now what I've got ready is, oh, I don't know who my sous chef was, but they are gorgeous. Look at those beautiful cold, cold, cold cubes of butter, all right? I think it's about 1 1/3 cups, which is, no, 1 3/4 cups. That's what it is. Oh my gosh, okay, so here people, you could go into a food processor if you wanted to, because pretty much a biscuit's worst enemy is your hands, which is what I'm using right now. See, I'm breaking the rules. But basically, I'm kind of just doing it really quickly, and I've got the flour in my hands, and I'm kind of just like, how do I even, like I'm just kind of mashing the butter into the flour, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm getting each of those little individual cubes, and I'm just mashing it into the flour. Okay? The reason why your hands are nice and hot, and they will make that butter melt. And we don't want the butter to melt, because basically we want the butter to melt in the oven, which I've got at 400 degrees. And what happens is the moisture that's inside of the butter will evaporate, and then it will leave beautiful little pockets of fluffiness. So that is where your fluffy biscuit's gonna come from. Okay, so I've got this kind of like coarse sand, all right, if you can see this. I mean, I still have a few clumps of butter, which I'm fine with, because there's nothing like diving into a big old fat hunk of butter. Just saying. I've got a little bit of buttermilk that I'm gonna add. And then I've got some sour cream that I'm going to add. Let's use this spat. And you basically just wanna stir it up until it starts to come together. Okay? So no need to like fold and be all soft, and you're just mixing, okay? We're even gonna do a little witch's brew action. Okay. Now I made a half of a batch before this, and it made 5 biscuits. So they're 4-inch biscuits. So you could either, you know, go 3 inches to get a couple more out of there, or it's all up to you. But basically, let's clean off that spat. Now I'm gonna use my hands again. Oh my gosh, don't hate me. I guess what you could do also is you could put this in the refrigerator for 15 or 20 minutes to chill your dough before you roll it. That would probably be a really smart thing to do. For my purposes, I'm just gonna go for it, okay? But just know that having a cold dough is gonna facilitate probably for a fluffier end product, okay? It's nice and shaggy. That's the word I'm looking for. We have a shaggy dough. Okay, done. So I'm just gonna do that. Okay, so what I have is I've got some tops of green onions that I've just cut on the bias, on the diagonal, okay, at the ready. And then I have my 4-inch biscuit cutter, and I have a rolling pin. And then you're also gonna need a tiny bit of flour for dusting, okay? So here we go. So the first thing you wanna do is roll this baby out into a square. Okay, wow, this is like boatloads more dough than I did before. See what happens. My cutting board's moving a little bit. Okay, so see how I'm kind of sticking? I'm gonna put a little bit of flour on there. Okay, take a look. I'm totally boiling now. So I'm gonna turn down my heat to low. Give it a little stir. I have a little bit of a skin on the top, but now that flour that we incorporated in there is gonna start to make that nice and thick. So I'll let that simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes. But right now that looks great. Okay, we're aiming for a square. This is the goal. So what I like to do is I'm just gonna turn it over and turn it a quarter turn. Okay, so once I get, we're still at a circle, I'm aiming for a square, people. Okay. Still have a little bit of action going on. Sticking action. Okay, so I like lots and lots of layers. So what I would suggest is you're going to fold it into thirds. So do that, or I call it like the book fold, right? There's my third. And I'm going to kind of do a third and a third. Let's see if this is going to work. It worked with the last batch. Okay, now I'm going to turn this baby over. See how I'm kind of sticking here? Flour. Okay, we're going to roll out again. Now, I've got my green onions at the ready. I don't know, you could use the white parts of the onion if you wanted to, but I really just like the color and the look of the green tops. Okay, here I go. The other thing that you can do is, once you cut out your biscuits, you could chill them then. Okay, it's kind of exciting. Okay, going a little bit more. I'm going to turn this guy a little bit. Square, think square. Okay, holy nugget, this is coming together. Okay, good. So we are going to take the onions. It might be too many onions, but let's see what happens. The finished product looks pretty dang awesome. Okay, we're going to do the fold again. One more time. Here we go. Fold. Do the little, what do you call it? The divot. Okay, I'm going to turn this baby over. We're sticking. We're sticking. And at the ready, I have a sheet pan with a piece of parchment paper on it. You want to make sure that you either put a silicone mat down or a piece of parchment paper. And again, I told you 400 degrees. These guys are going to cook for about 15 to 18 minutes for a 4-inch biscuit until they're nice and browned on the top. You want to take some butter, some melted butter, and rub the tops of them, either like right before they go in the oven or right as they come out of the oven. We are so almost there. Okay, so you basically want, I don't know, like maybe 1/4 of an inch thick, 1/2 of an inch thick. Obviously, the taller the biscuit, the taller the finished product's going to be. Okay, we're going for that. Okay, it's a rectangle, all right? Shoot me. Okay, so I've got just a fluted biscuit cutter, just because I think that's cute and sassy, but you can do whatever you want if you want to just go plain. There we go, look at that. That's gorgeous. And I'd make sure that they're at least 2 inches apart. Okay, so the key is to just, I'm not going to get much more out of that. You kind of want them to be as close together as possible. How's my sauce? Ooh, it's a little on the red side because of the paprika. That's good. I like that. I'm not going to get 6 out of this. But what you can do is you're just going to roll up the dough and you're going to do it again. Ooh, maybe I can get one more out of that little corner. Let's see. I remember with my kids and I was making sugar cookies and they just like go straight for the middle. And I'd be like, no. My OCD was kicking in like, don't go right in the middle and waste all that beautiful time. But okay, look, I'm going to get one more. Right there. Okay, so now you need to roll this up again. Treat it with kid gloves at this point, right? Because hands, warm, remember? Oh, that is so sad. It's like I want to get one out of that. I don't know. Will I be able to? It's going to be thinner. Shh, don't tell anybody. Okay. Your secret's safe with me. No, my secret should be safe with you. Whatevs, you know. Digressing. Okay, so this is basically just going to be a free-form, beautiful creature. Let's roll this baby out again. Try to get it to be as square/rectangle as possible. Oh my gosh. Yeah. My kids are going to be so excited for these today. Okay. Oh my gosh, I only got one more out of it. Shoot me now. Okay. So again, we're gonna pop those babies into the oven, 15 to 18 minutes, okay? So it looks like about 6 on a sheet rack. Okay, so guess what? I've already done some. Funny that. Let's take a look at our sauce. This could cook down just a tiny bit more, but it looks really great. And I need to taste it and add salt and pepper as needed. Okay, I'm gonna try not to burn my face, people. Salt, it needs salt. Lots of salt. And I'm gonna do pepper again too. And my hands are really crazy, but you know, what else? Let's clean those off a little bit. Okay. So let's plate one up. I told you that I've made some in advance. Look at these cute little nuggets of joy. Hello. So I'm just going to put 2 on this plate right here. Maybe do a little shingle action. Pour a little bit of my gravy over the top. I'm going to do one a little bit more because you know what? I'm going to eat me some serious biscuits and gravy after this. I do not know where that accent is coming from. Okay. Oh, you guys. I don't know. Looks like the bee's knees to me. A couple of green onions for garnish, and oh my goodness, I know what I'm eating here shortly. That is beautiful. So there you go. Go to harmonsgrocery.com for the recipe, and happy eating, people.